President Obama back on the trail this week, this time in Tennessee at an Amazon warehouse. We'll be talking about the needs for more manufacturing jobs. Meanwhile, the possibility of another debt ceiling fight is looming. Joined now by Steve Forbes. He is chairman and editor-in-chief of Forbes Media and a longtime observer of the political scene. So Mr. Forbes, first of all, big picture, have you ever seen Washington this dysfunctional or seemingly so dysfunctional?
I think what you see is a real divide between where we go. There's no new consensus out there. Last election didn't create one. So I think we're going to have this turmoil for another few years, particularly in the area of health care.
Right.
Government health care versus free market health care.
Right, and this debt ceiling debate or crisis, I don't want to call it a crisis yet, that we could be heading towards could be over what we do with Medicare, and there seems to be a divide there. So are we going to have another debt ceiling crisis?
I hope the Republicans realize that the debt ceiling's like nuclear weapons. You don't want to have to use them, and everyone was hurt when the last time we had this in 2011. So I hope the GOP does. They won't be able to get it through the Senate, but put out there that in the future, instead of a debt ceiling, have a certain percentage of GDP, whether spending or the debt itself. So you have a benchmark, and if the Congress doesn't meet the benchmark, then salaries are docked and things like that. Are real sanctions for non-performance. And also, in the name of statesmanship, repeal the 1974 Budget Act and give the president back impoundment powers. Say, we don't like this president, but for the good of the country, we'll give him powers to impound spending so we don't have a future budget crisis. Obama will reject it, but the Republicans will look like they stepped up to the plate.
So it looks like they're trying to do something. As part of negotiation, you have to offer something to the other side. Right?
Exactly.
Right. So you mentioned health care, and obviously, Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, whatever you want to call it, still hotly contested, but it is the law of the land. How do you feel, how can we work our way through this, given that it's coming whether we like it or not?
Well, the fact they had to postpone the employer mandate for a year shows that maybe it isn't coming the way they thought it would.
Right.
And I thought the Republicans in the House did a good thing by saying, you did this illegally, but we'll make it legal for you, and let Harry Reid in the Senate say, it wasn't in the bill, but we're going to do it anyway. And also put off the individual mandate for a year, which the administration's not done. What the Republicans at the same time should do is pass legislation, for example, allowing nationwide shopping on health care. Right now it's state by state. So if I live in New Jersey, which I do, and I want to buy a policy that's offered in Pennsylvania, I can buy a car in Pennsylvania. Why can't I buy the insurance? So put positive proposals out there to show we want the patient to be in charge. Here's some ideas on that. And again, let the Democrats look like they're the obstructionists.
Right. So this is encouraging because even, obviously you come from a Republican perspective, but you seem to feel like there are things that can be done to maybe move the ball forward. So I'm going to take some solace from that, because from the outside, again, it looks like they're getting nothing done and they're just banging heads together over every issue that comes up.
Well, and I think the Republicans are going to have to demonstrate some adaptability and flexibility in the House on, for example, the issue of immigration. Instead of passing one immigration bill, since that's going to fracture the Republican Party, pass a series of 6 or 7 bills. So if certain Republicans don't like the path to citizenship, fine, they can vote against that part, but vote in favor of having a green card in your diploma if you get an advanced degree in this country from overseas, and positive things like that.
Sort of like a line item veto for the immigration bill.
And that way you send 7 bills to the Senate for a conference and put something together there.
Right. Well, I hope your sense of optimism prevails and they can get something done, whatever it may be, imperfect or not.
Well, on the debt ceiling, they got to do something.
Right. They got it. So you do think they will do something on the debt ceiling?
Yeah, and I think both sides realize they got a black eye on 2011, and that's where the sequester came from that bit Mr. Obama so hard.
Right.
So I think he may be a little more amenable than he has been in the past.
Right, and certainly the market reacted really badly in 2011. The S&P went down over 16% in a month.
Very harmful. Very harmful.
And let's hope certainly that we avoid that again.